Hey everyone, it's the TheAngryHoneyBadger, and it's time for us to take a look at a new champion today in the jungle. We're going to be taking a look at Zac. I like to play him in the jungle. He's really good with ganking. His kit kind of works out really well there. Just a lot of reasons why he's good in the jungle. You can take him top lane too. That's another place I have seen him. But I enjoy him in the jungle, so we're going to be there today. Starting off at blue buff, that side, you get the cooldown reduction from blue. You are not mana based. You are just casting abilities based off of your health. So that's what your main costs are going to be when you are playing Zac. So at level 1, what I'm going to start with is a Hunter's Machete and Pots. Pretty typical stuff for junglers. Going to start there. I will say early on, if you are jungling Zac, you do feel really squishy in the jungle at first, so don't be afraid to use those health pots. It's just going to happen. You do get better as this game goes on. Just need a couple first items, and then jungling really gets a lot easier. One thing I also will say about Zac is you do also want to try to gank when possible early. He really does excel at ganking, and it is very helpful. Unfortunately, in bot lane right now, not really something we can totally do awesomely. They're a little bit pushed down there, so I'm going to try to gank in a few other places in a second, but until then I'll keep jungling. Already threw my pots, but luckily I'm level 4, so that's going to be kind of helpful. Going to get in here and slow mid. She is just going to flash away. Unfortunately, we will not be able to kill her, but you know, keep your ganking up. The lane presence is definitely going to be helpful. So we'll talk about Zac. We'll talk about his abilities, his passive. So first off, his passive, Cell Division. Each time Zac hits an enemy with an ability, he sheds a little chunk of his life and reabsorbs to restore 4% of his maximum health. Upon taking fatal damage, though, he will split off into 4 separate chunks, and basically can kill his little chunks to make sure he stays dead. This is on a passive timer. I think it's like, maybe it's 3 minutes, I can't remember exactly, but each chunk is 12% of his maximum health. Here, run into the Yi, who's going to come up for a gank, and I was also coming up for a gank on the Mordekaiser, so Mordekaiser may think that I'm actually backing off now. I am not going to. I'm going to move in using probably my E ability to come get in here a little bit, slow him with my Q, and pick up the kill, and then Yi's going to run away and not go for the kill, so that's good. Picked up a kill. Didn't really think I'd get a kill. I was probably going to get an assist is what I thought, because I'm going to get a lot of assists, because I'm going to be building a very, very tanky Zac, so that's the way I like to do it. But that first trip back, we're starting to build, or this is our second trip back technically. We have a Spirit Stone, which is going to be helpful for the mana, or we don't need the mana regeneration, but we get the health regeneration, and it's going to help us still in the jungle. And then we do have our first part of our boots, which is going to help us with ganking, and then we do have that Ruby Crystal, which will give us some health. We will be building that into something in just a little bit. So that was his passive that we just talked about a second ago. That was his Cell Division. You can read more into that a little bit if you need to. Next, at level 1, what you want to take while you're jungling, you can see me maxing these out down below, is Unstable Matter. And oh, hey, in fact, that was a fail right there. I didn't jump that wall because apparently I let go of the E button with SmartCast on. That's a big accident. So here, I'm just going to play around with Mordekaiser. He's going to try to go back here. To prevent that, I'm just going to run up here and hit him with a Q real quick so he doesn't go back. As you can see, he was trying to TP back. I just want to hang out. I know he can hurt me. He does have a couple levels on me. I'm just going to kind of play around with him, not really going for him too hard. You can see Kale is coming up. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. I want to get Kale a kill, and I'm just going to ghost, make sure I can stay up with him, slow him down a little bit. He's going to turn the fight on me, but then Kale shows up for that quick kill. Just kind of poking at him, getting to stay around, using my slow to make sure he stays there. So that is a pretty good way to get a kill right there. Mordekaiser shouldn't push forward like that. He's not singed. He shouldn't do that as much. But like I was saying, we're going to be maxing out our W first, which is what I took at level 1. That's your Unstable Matter. You basically erupt, dealing some percentage damage and some base damage as well. And then you can pick up all your little dots too as you use them, basically use them as health, and you can pick them back up. And I believe they do disappear though if you don't go grab those right away, so make sure you try to grab those dots. You'll see them popping off me, and you'll see me grabbing those and picking up my health again. So he does take a little bit of time just to get used to, because his kit's just a little weird. Next, at level 2 though, we're going to take that Stretching Strike. That's his Q ability. That is what hits them, deals some damage, and it will slow the enemy for 2 seconds. You can do that as well. I take that at level 2. Typically max that second, although you might want to put one more point into your E ability, which we take at level 3, which is your Elastic Slingshot. As you do level this up, I think you do get a little more distance on it. You can cancel it, and you can get a refund of 50% of the health that it costs, but this is what sends him flying in. In fact, we're going to use it right now to initiate on Katarina under the tower. I'm going to bounce around using my ultimate we are going to try to pick up this kill real quick while I am tanking this tower. I'm a little overcommitted myself. I am going to pop it into my passive, as you can see right now. 2 of the towers are going to take out those 2 shots. He's going to move back over, try to take care of me, but I am going to be able to come back up. He will move back in. I'm going to turn around, just hit him a couple times, and so will bonus content as Kha'Zix, and we'll be able to pick up that kill. So good stuff happening there. Got a little bit lucky. If Yi would have paid a little bit more attention and known my passive was up, he would have maybe been able to kill me and then hide underneath his turret, but he was unable to do so, so I get away with a couple more assists, which I will gladly take. So back at base, now we're going to actually finish off our very first item. Now I took the Spirit Stone and I built it into the defensive jungle item that I always forget the name of. You can also build this into the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, which is the one that gives you the Spell Vamp, and it's a good item. I have nothing against it. It does work really well with Zac if you want a little bit more damage, but I'm going to go really tanky. This item is going to give me also Tenacity, which will allow me to pick up the boots that I picked up, and I picked up Ninja Tabby. So if you're going to go with the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, make sure you pick up Mercury Treads, but because this has Tenacity, I can pick up Ninja Tabby instead. Here I'm just kind of covering for mid, but he's going to gank basically, and then I'll jump in. I'll use my ultimate too, bounce around, deal the damage, slower, and all that nonsense. So he's going to be on a rampage now, and picking up easy assists whenever we're doing that, because Zac has a lot of crowd control, and he's just very strong right now as a champion. They have nerfed him just a tiny bit in the first patch, I think, for him, but he's still a really strong champion. I would not be surprised if they tweaked him a little bit more. Percentage W, or damage on your W, and it's on like a 3.5 second cooldown. It's just really, really powerful. You can do a lot of damage. So that's just something you maybe want to pay attention to if you're new to Zac, or if you've never really played against him too often. He can hurt even though he's going tanky. I'm not going to get a ton of kills this game, but I'm going really tanky, and it seems to work a lot for me. I like it at least the most that way, at least when I'm playing Zac. So just covering mid when I can. Obviously, this is farm for me to be able to pick up as well, so make sure you don't let farm go to waste. If their laner on your team is back at base, go pick that up. Now, the next item that I'm going to build, this could be maybe your next item. You could pick it up after another one, depending on the team composition. If they have a lot of attack damage, you could be building a Sunfire Cape next, but they don't have... I mean, they have a lot of AP, so I'm going to address that too. So I'm actually going to be going for my Spirit Visage next, which is going to give me even more cooldown reduction. It's going to give me more health, which is always a great thing on Zac, and Magic Resist. Here we're going to move in on Mordekaiser, who just helped pick up a kill on Kale. We're going to move in here and be able to pick up a pretty simple kill once again. Kha'Zix is going to get that. He's going to be one of our carries this game, so that's fine. He's getting all these kills. I'm still doing perfectly fine. So we're going to pick up that Spirit Visage, and basically the unique passive on that of giving you that health and regeneration of increased by 20% is going to help you every time you go to pick up your dots of your health on the ground. So you're going to basically just heal up completely or even more. So very helpful item, kind of a must-have on Zac. Now, if you don't need it right away, don't get it right away. But you will probably want this. It's just something I'd highly recommend. It's a great item, and it makes the regeneration effect even better for his kit, and it just really helps him in the jungle. It helps him everywhere. So very strong item. That's what I'm going to pick up next. I'm going to go ahead and initiate in here using the W, jumping in on top. Going to go ahead and use that ultimate as well. Bounce around. We will tank the turret, which luckily only has about 2 hits left on it. We will kill, I believe, the Ezreal and get rid of that tower so it stops hitting me. So another assist and kill that tower. So all types of good stuff happening for us right now. We are getting quite ahead on this game, but they start to make a little bit of a mid to late game comeback because they have some damage on their team as well. And Mordekaiser has been getting non-stop ganks top from Yi, so Kale's been just having a little bit of a tougher game, but we will rally this. Don't worry. We're going to be ahead now, and we'll go ahead and keep a lead, but they'll make a try later. Now, last time back at base, I did pick up that Spirit Visage, which will definitely help out. I'm going to go ahead and use that E ability, jump that wall right now, as you can do that with that ability. Move in, slow down Katarina, and Graves will luckily pick up that kill with that buckshot real fast. So good stuff happening all around. Like I said, I'm going really supporty, just tanky with Zac. It seems to work, at least I like it. And as much as it doesn't feel super rewarding to get some kills, I'll go get some kills in a little bit and kind of commit suicide while doing it. But, you know, I'm just having fun because I play this game for fun. That's what's up. So going to go ahead and keep farming and jungling and keep ganking. Going to do that move in, help Kha'Zix with the dragon real quick. There was an attempt by Ezreal to steal it. They must have had it warded, but don't have to worry about that. Now they're going to kill that Nidalee real quick. I'm going to move in real quick over to the Katarina. Bounce around, gonna hit her. which will then knock her and then slow her there. Now, I am going to take this. Unfortunately, a carry didn't get here right away, and Kha'Zix disappeared with Kale. So, they're not over here either. So now, we are going to luckily pick this kill up, but that wasn't very organized, and Thresh is just going to barely sneak away from that tower with about 30 health. So, a little bit greedy, but worked out in the end. Going to be back at base now, pick up a Giant's Belt. Even more health can be very helpful, just because getting tanky, buying health, all of that good stuff. So that is another thing that we are doing, and we're going to continue to, farm up and gank and a little bit of that. So I know we didn't actually cover his ultimate, which is Let's Bounce. Basically, you leap into the air and your bounce begins. You're going to bounce 4 times, a maximum of 4 times. Each bounce is going to deal damage plus AP. And then when you hit them, it's going to knock them for 1 second and slow them by 20% for 1 second. So it's really good crowd control, especially if you can hit a whole team with it, which you easily can since it does last really well. You're going to be able to jump in here with the E, and then I'm guessing I'm going to bounce around, commit a little bit of suicide because I'm kind of up here by myself. But I will be able to kill the Ezreal at this point. I'm a goner. That's fine. Now my 4 parts separate, and Thresh does throw a Lantern in here. Smart move, but it's not going to be enough. The turret's going to help them too much to kill me, so that will happen. A little bit of overcommitment right there, but just having fun jumping in, killing Ezreal, because it's always fun to kill Ezreal. It's a blue build Ezreal, so he thinks he's going to do awesome in this game. Not the case. So we are back at base because we're dead. Picked up some more armor because we need some. That's the next thing we need to build. Like I said, if you wanted to maybe get that Sunfire Cape before you got that Spirit Visage, very smart plan, good idea. That's what I'm starting to build now. It's going to be helpful because of the health and the armor, good stuff there. And you can get that more damage because of its passive on the side. Here we're going to jump over that wall, initiate on Katarina trying to get this bottom tower. Going to slow her. She's going to jump to Thresh to try to get away. We're going to bounce now and bounce to her. We will luckily hit her with that last bounce, and Thresh is going to get a good grab. Just going to keep slowing her with our Q. Luckily, Thresh also does have a frozen mallet because he's just not really playing damage, but that's a good slow. Jump back onto her again, slow her again with the Q, or did I miss with the Q? Anyways, Thresh is going to knock her back. She's going to Shumpo again, barely get out of range. I'm going to keep chasing though because I think I can catch her. I'm going to use my E ability one more time just to close the gap, and hopefully my Q will then hit her if I get it close enough, which I will, and pick up the kill. So kind of quite the chase to get to Katarina, but she's got a lot of escapability if she wants to, and luckily we had plenty of slows, but there's just the crowd control effects of Zac and Thresh too. Just so much CC, hard to get away from. You just can constantly slow them or knock them, so lots of good crowd control. That's why I'm building him tanky. You can just keep using that all of the time. So just lots of that going on. Now, at this point, they're going to finish Dragon off real quick, and then I'll have enough gold to pick up that Sunfire Cape, which is what I did just finally pick up. So we got good armor right now, good magic resist. Not really worried about damage. Like I said, he does deal some anyways, just because he is Zac, and he just is going to be around for such a long time. That duration of being alive is just going to help you kill him. So that's going to be going on right there. Now, we were talking about his Less Bounce ultimate. Like I said, that's going to do all that stuff. You're going to gain speed too while you're doing that. And I believe you get tenacity while it's active. So it just is really helpful. His ultimate's just in a team fight, and you perfectly coordinate it, it's just going to really kind of negate the enemy team from doing anything for about 2 seconds, because they're going to be hit and knocked, and they're going to be slowed. So it's a lot of good crowd control. And that's just going to be a repetitive theme with Zac. Lots of crowd control. It's just really good. Now, another thing I will say about this build, some of you may be definitely taking that Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, which it does work well. If you do that, you don't need to pick up a Will of the Ancients. I know some people want more damage and to help out the team. You can pick up a Will of the Ancients. It is a decent idea, and it does work fine on Zac, especially if you do have that Spirit Visage too. You're just going to be like a giant healing machine while you are kind of tanking everything, so that does work really well. I will say that it does. Now, at this point, though, there's a few ways the build can go, and it just kind of depends on the enemy team. This is kind of getting towards that situational part. We got a good amount of armor and magic resist right now. We actually are going to get into a little fight too while we are trying to end the game. Going to kill that Nidalee with that Q, and they're going to retreat a little bit. Now we're trying to get this tower, but unfortunately our team kind of gets disconnected from the fight, and we stopped going for the tower, so now we're tanking it. I'm trying to get rid of it real quick. Now I'm going to get killed though, so not really a good team fight. You could see we just kind of all got separated, nobody really focused up, no good pings were going off, so that is unfortunate that that did happen. So I just thought I'd show that disorganized chaos underneath the turret will lead to you guys dying. So just be careful about that in the future. Back at base, though, now is a situational part of the build. I could see that Thresh wasn't going to build a runic bulwark, which I have recommended on a few tankier junglers right now. So I'm actually going to be picking that up, which will give me health, armor, and magic resist, and that aura for my allies. So very helpful for the role I am playing with the team. Going to jump in here, kind of help with the Yi, start bouncing around because Katarina's ulting to knock her out of it. She is going to go into that Zhonya's, but she's not going to be able to get away too much damage from Kale, and I wouldn't let her get away anyways because of the slow. So but like I was saying with the previous item pickup, that runic bulwark is going to be helpful because armor, magic resist, both really good. This team has a handful of both magic damage and physical damage, so that's going to help me get just beefier. Another thing you could do if you wanted to, instead of that, you could do a Warmog's armor. Never a bad idea. It's going to be very helpful on you as well. And then if they had tons of attack damage, you could do Randuin's Omen or Thornmail, so those are another good options. Now, two other items people have probably seen on Zac that are both good, or decent at least, I will say, is Liandry's Torment and Rylai's Crystal Scepter. If I had to take one of these items as my last item, I would highly recommend the Rylai's. Liandry's is decent on him, but it's really not as good as a lot of people make it out to be, just kind of a heads up. He's more burst initially instead of that burning damage over time. It's decent, but I would rather have the Rylai's because of the constant slows, because you can spam your W ability every 3 seconds with this cooldown reduction, so it's just a lot of cooldown reduction, so a lot of slows happening from that Rylai's. You do get some AP out of that as well, too, and more health, so very, very helpful. Luckily, we do have Graves coming over to kill that Ezreal real quick in a 1v1. He is, I think, going to get caught out, though, real quick by the rest of this team. I am going to move in, though, and start bouncing around and knocks Yi away. He's going to run for his life, going to kill that Nidalee. We're going to be able to finish up the game real quick as well. As for the runes and masteries, it's pretty standard jungling stuff. I'll list those in the description. If you guys have any other comments about the build, you can go ahead and put those in the comments below. But other than that, I'll just see all of you in the next build video. To do is Thresh moves into that bush and I saw him, so I'm actually going to jump over there and try to finish him off real quick, and then that has refreshed as well again because your rocket jump refreshes whenever you get a kill, so you can jump or an assist, it refreshes there too. So I was able to keep jumping around and dealing some damage and basically picking up a pretty easy triple kill. So